Hello and welcome to the inaugural easy to make 10-minute YouTube off-week compilation thing, or as I'm calling it from now on, Riff of the Week. Basically with the new way I'm editing videos, it's taking a little bit longer than before, so rather than leave you guys with nothing for a week, I've decided to introduce Riff of the Week. Yeah, we're just going to play through a song, talk about the riffs in it, have a good time. In the meantime, just some slight channel updatey things. So first of all, thank you for everyone who watched last week's video and shared it and liked it. Really means the world to me. That's definitely more the direction I want to go with this channel, more of that really edited, scripted video thing. The next one is in the pipeline. The script is nearly done. Then it's just editing and filming and editing that one. That one's going to be good. But next week is going to be another bass cover. Just because I only have 3 days to make it. That one's going to be a bass cover of a particular 80s new album band, which I hope you all enjoy. And after that is going to be the next video, which is going to be even longer than the last one. It's going to be a thing, most definitely. But yeah, until then, Riff of the Week! Riff of the Week. Going to be talking this week about Megadeth, one of my favourite bands. We're going to be talking about Hangar 18. So, let's jump right into it. So the first thing you'll notice about Hangar 18 is that Ellison likes to palm mute. Palm muting on a bass. How weird is that? Guitar players, yes, Jenny.
What's palm muting?
What's palm muting? I was going to get onto that. Thank you for bringing it up, though. Yes, so for those of you who don't know, palm muting is literally, you take your picking hand, your hand with the guitar pick, and you just mute the string slightly by resting a little bit of the sort of flappy bit, I guess you would call it, of your palm, of the skin there. Just resting that against the strings, and it just kind of mutes it. But instead of being, you know, proper muted, like, where you're not really getting any note, just by it being there, it just kind of dampens it down slightly, but you're still getting the note. So this is really useful for a number of reasons. I mean, on guitar, it really tightens everything up because there's so much distortion going through their instrument. But on bass, it also tightens everything up slightly. You get the... Really cool. But Ellison loves this. He does this all over this song. Let's look at what's going on. So we're in D minor, obviously. We're in drop D tuning as well. I don't think I've actually talked about tuning before. But yeah, you're in drop D. So you've taken your E string and you've just down-tuned that till it's a tone lower, or D, 2 semitones. 2 semitones lower, and then you've got your... So yeah, let's look at what's happening there. So the first thing you notice, if you look at the guitar part, is the guitars have got a D minor chord. Well, with the third note. But you'll hear this note, this 5 here. It's A. That's basically what's happening in the guitar pattern there. You've got this just D minor, straight D minor, then this D minor, but they've added this flat 6. It goes up to the major 6th to the flat 7. So you've got this really cool little ascending line happening over the guitar parts, all over this D. It's kind of like the... Kind of like the James Bond sound, that kind of thing. So a really cool feature of this bass line is that he's actually accenting that while still keeping a low D going. So he's playing this. So he's still got that low D pumping away, just so really hammering the root of the chord, but you've also accenting that little ascending line in the middle structure of the chord, which is really cool. He's kind of getting the best of both worlds there. So yeah, then the little harmony part from Marty Friedman, he goes up to an inversion of that. We just go back to this. So you end up playing this part twice. And yeah, that second time he ends it with this, going up to this D here, and then playing the 5th down below it. So obviously, because we're on drop D, the 5th ordinarily would be here, at that, I don't know what fret that is, I don't do frets, 12, 13, 15, 17, that's the 17th fret, there you go. It would normally be there, but because we're in drop D, everything just gets shifted up one, so the 5th is actually here now. That A. So yeah, so you have your, that part of the beginning, end with this little, and now he's just following the guitar line where they're hammering out the 5th of that chord. So you got your root note, your octave there. I like to play this with my 2nd finger and my 3rd finger just to mute that middle string. So you can just slam it. Hit it as hard as possible, it doesn't matter. So you play that first one, then you go up, play the flat 6, play the major 6th, play the flat 7. So then you come on to this next part. This is all part of the intro. The song gets a lot simpler after this, and then it gets really complicated, but we're going to deal with the simple parts first. So yeah, so you start, all of it's just different ways of accenting this little ascending line. And you have it as just big block chords. You have it as part of the, as part of a bass line with the D really hammering out there. So this time it's, so yeah, really cool. You just start on whichever part you're at. So start on the 5th, and you go up to octave D here before hitting that low D. Which is really cool, and he's just playing low D and let that ring out when it goes there, but you can put in some extra notes if you want to move it a little bit more. So yeah, so you go up to this D, this final low D, and then you have this little descending line. Which is going to be from F, E, D. So we're starting from the flat 3 of our key. We're starting on F, D minor, F, E, D, C, B flat, A. Here it's kind of, because you're starting on that F, it sounds more like an F major scale than starting on the, than a D minor scale starting on the D, but that's just out of context. So you get A, and then G, and you end up on this F. And then from that F there, you're gonna go up to this A here, to the flat 5, to the 5 rather. And I like to put a little slide in there just to, one, to get to that note there, and also it just sounds cool. Yeah. And you can do this all down picking. For that first riff, that's all down picked. That's just the metal thing to do, you know, palm muting, down picking all the way. With excessive down picking, like this song has, really important not to tense up, but really stay nice and relaxed. Even if that means not hitting it as hard, like, that's better than, you know, trying to really aggressively slam it and not be able to do that for the full duration of the song, because it really doesn't take much, as long as just the nature of it being downpicked is going to make it stand out. So that's important. This little run here, I like to downpick all of this just to keep it all smooth and nice, but you can play it with alternate picking. But it kind of makes it awkward landing on this note to be all downpicked. But yeah, that's the thing. So then we get to the verse. Well, there's a little break before the verse, but we'll get back to that. The verse pattern is this idea. Really, really cool. Essentially what's happening here is he's following the guitar pattern. The guitar pattern which is... But instead of following it note for note, he's subtracted a load of it out. So the first time round, he only plays the first part of that phrase. And then it's just D. For the whole rest of it. Again, just hammering, low D, really driving, really full, and he's in drop D as well, so it's, you know, got that low, that resonance to it that sounds really, really cool. Because, like, yeah, he doesn't need to hit the whole phrase. He also doesn't need to, you know, land on that D for any extended length of time because the guitars are doing that. He's better off just going. You can play it like that. But you lose a lot of that drive that's really keeping that bass line really cool and consistent and strong. So the way he plays it is... And again, he's palm muting the whole time, but he's lifting it off whenever he plays a note that isn't that low D, so... Really, really cool. So yeah, the first time, you just play the first part of the phrase. The second time, you play the first phrase, bam, bam, keep playing the D for an extra bar, and then you come back in on the second part of the phrase on this major sixth. So skip the next one, skip the next one. So he's kind of split it in half. He's got the first one, well, he's kind of, yeah, split it into quarters and then in halves. The first time he plays a core of the phrase, he just plays that fifth. The next time he plays that bit, and then he plays the second half of it. And the last time, he obviously plays the full phrase. Which is really, really cool. You can hear it building up as it goes. Really, really subtle, really, really nice choice. Like, David Ellison's such an underrated bass player. Like, his technique's amazing. I've never heard anyone else palm mute on bass like he does. And the way he constructs bass lines is just phenomenal. Like, that's really, really cool. That's really, really good. David Ellison is an extremely underrated bass player. But yeah, so that's the verse pattern. Obviously, there's this little guitar break before you go into that. All that is, it's the exact same pattern as the verse, except you don't get all the way through the phrasing. So you get... verse. Sorry. Verse. So then we're back to the top. If you see what I mean. So you play the verse pattern the first 2 times round, if you like, where you go from the 5, and then you go to the pattern where it's the 5 and the major 6th. And then just ignore that last time, because that's when we're into a verse. Again, really, really simple. It was working. We just need to go around one more time, so back to the front. So yeah, so you end on this. And what he's doing there is he's following the guitar line, which is, in fact, following the vocal line. You get that, possibly I've seen too much. And this time it's a reverse of the pattern we've been doing so far. Before, we've been going up to this 5th and then up to the root, to the D, or, you know, the flat 6 up to the D. This time we're going from the low D, from the root, from the D to the 5th. Instead of going up to this 5, we then do this. So that's D, C, A, not A, G, sorry. D, C, G, C, and then you do this nice little slide into this G and into this C up here. to lead us back to it. Really, really cool. And still I'm palm muting all the low Ds just to make that, you know, make a lot of, just keep that consistent, and you don't have to, again. But I like it, makes it, you know, feel groovier. Then you're in this little section. This is really palm mute heavy. I used to think that he was playing this with octaves to get that accent, but he's just playing it. So like, because that's similar to what the guitar part's doing, but nope, he's just. Yeah. Really, really cool. But yeah, so you're on A, B flat, B, B flat that first time. Again, that James Bond sound. The second time is A, B flat, B, C. Then it repeats again, the exact same pattern. And then we get this little melodic line, which is really cool. Really cool hearing that major six, and then you get a real little Dorian sound from this. Really cool. It's, again, that's a kind of a jazzy thing. You've got a little Dorian sound. Dorian being a minor scale with a major sixth, natural sixth. Really, really cool sound. But so let me break this part down. So you've just gone from the A, B flat, B, B flat. So you're on A, and you go from E to that F. Then you got this A to G. So A, E, F, A, G, then back from the F to the E again. So, and that leads you back to that B flat. I kind of play this badly. I always jump with my finger, which I shouldn't really do. The best way to play this is going to be either with all second finger, third finger, so you can get your first finger to play that B flat, or, which is probably how I should play it, so with your first finger to second finger, first finger to open, and then third finger on the F, second finger on the E, and then first finger on that B flat. And this is almost exactly the same as the intro lick. You got your F, E, D, C, B flat, A, G. But now instead of going to that F, you go from that G to the B natural to the C. So it's almost, you could almost think of it as a chromatic approach note to that flat 7 chord, but it's also, you know, we've had some Dorian stuff throughout with the going to that major sixth. Yeah, and that's basically that. Then from there you're back to that verse pattern. You go all around that again, all around the exact same line as well. When you go back to that section. The only difference is instead of stopping when you get to that C, you keep the pattern going. And you obviously get this major 7 to really lead it into this next part. You get this harmonic minor sound. So, if you're watching this, that means I decided to split this video into 2, because reasons. It was getting way too long, probably. Yeah, next week we'll have a solo bass cover with a cool song from the 80s by a Northern band. Look forward to that. Week after that, we'll be back with a super long edited mega video, so look forward to that. Second part of this will be up next week. I think I'm going to keep Riff of the Week going. That's just a thing, because I enjoy it. It's fun times. Yeah, this song's really hard. Just make sure you're really working on the down picking. Keeping it nice and light, so that you can really do that for an extended period of time. Make sure it's all coming from the wrist as well. You know, from this little part should be where everything's happening. No arm. If you're down picking like that, you're doing something wrong. As minimal movement as possible is what you want. But yeah, have fun with that. Yeah. See you next week.